ISRO created history with the successful launch of GSLV F-15 NVS-02 placed in Earth's orbit. GSLV F-15 becomes the 100th mission launched from Satish Dhawan Space Center. Guillain-Barré syndrome raises concern in Maharashtra. Over 100 cases reported in Pune. Guillain-Barré syndrome is a rare autoimmune neurological disorder. Uttarakhand made a major change in law and order, implemented the Uniform Civil Code in the state. Uttarakhand becomes the first state in independent India to do so. National Critical Mineral Mission approved by the central government, rupees 16,300 crore to be spent under the mission, India to achieve self-reliance in the critical mineral sector. Udaipur and Indore received global recognition. UNESCO included these cities in the list of wetland cities, cities that protect and manage wetlands. Recently, the integration of the GSLV F-15 rocket with the NVS-02 satellite has been completed. This rocket, equipped with the NVS-02 satellite, was launched on 29th January. It was launched from the second launch pad of the Satish Dhawan Space Center located in Sriharikota. Notably, this is the 100th mission to be launched from the Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota. It is worth mentioning that NVS-02 is the second satellite among India's new generation navigation satellites, which is a part of NAVIC, that is Navigation with Indian Constellation System. NVS-02 will help improve the services of NAVIC. It will be used for navigation, agriculture, emergency services, fleet management, and mobile device location. This satellite will operate on 3 frequency bands L1, L5, and S. A special rubidium atomic clock has been used for accurate time determination. For information, NAVIC, that is Navigation with Indian Constellation, is India's regional satellite navigation system, which provides users with precise position, velocity, and time information. This system operates in India and surrounding regions. Its range extends up to 1,500 km from India. At present, there are 4 major global satellite navigation systems. These include the USA's GPS, Russia's GLONASS, China's Beidou, and the European Union's Galileo. Additionally, Japan has the Quasi-Zenith satellite system. Recently, the first suspected death due to Guillain-Barré syndrome has been recorded in Maharashtra. With this, the total number of cases of this disease in Pune has reached 101. This situation has become a serious concern for health experts and local administration. It is worth mentioning that Guillain-Barré syndrome is a rare autoimmune neurological disorder. In this condition, the body's immune system mistakenly attacks the nervous system. It particularly affects the peripheral nerves, which can cause muscle weakness or paralysis. Its initial symptoms include tingling, numbness, and weakness in the legs or hands. This weakness can gradually spread throughout the body. In severe cases, it can cause difficulty in breathing and affect facial muscles. The primary cause of this disorder is an abnormal immune response. This response is often observed after a viral or bacterial infection. Flu, Zika virus, or Campylobacter infection can be its triggers. For information, this disease is treated through plasma exchange and immunoglobulin therapy. In plasmapheresis, harmful antibodies are removed from the blood. Meanwhile, in immunoglobulin therapy, the immune system is regulated. Physical therapy and rehabilitation are also useful in restoring muscle function. Recently, Uttarakhand became the first state in independent India to implement UCC, Uniform Civil Code. The state's chief minister fulfilled his promise after coming back to power in the March 2022 elections. During the election campaign, he announced the implementation of UCC. As per the promise, in March 2022, the Uttarakhand cabinet approved the formation of an expert panel for UCC. This panel was constituted under the chairmanship of retired Supreme Court Judge Ranjana Prakash Desai. The panel submitted its report to the state government in February 2024. based on which the UCC Uttarakhand 2024 Act was passed. This act will apply to all residents of the state except for scheduled tribes and certain specific individuals. Notably, residents living outside Uttarakhand will also come under the ambit of UCC. The UCC Act of Uttarakhand will regulate and govern laws related to marriage, divorce, inheritance, and live-in relationships. Under this, marriages will only be valid between individuals who meet specific legal criteria. These criteria include both parties being mentally competent and a minimum age of 21 years for men and 18 years for women. Additionally, after the implementation of the Act, registration of all marriages will be mandatory. A time limit of 60 days has been set for marriage registration. For information, Article 44 of the Directive Principles of State Policy states that efforts should be made to implement a uniform civil code for all citizens across the Indian territory. The Uniform Civil Code means that there will be a single law for India applicable to all religious communities concerning marriage, divorce, adoption, and inheritance. Recently, the central government has approved the National Critical Mineral Mission. It is estimated that Rs 16,300 crore will be spent on this mission. Additionally, an investment of Rs 18,000 crore has been proposed by public sector enterprises and other stakeholders. The aim of this mission is to make India self-reliant in the critical mineral sector. It will include all value chain processes such as mineral exploration, mining, processing, and recycling. It is worth mentioning that in 2023, the Ministry of Mines launched the Science and Technology PRISM program to promote research and innovation in science and technology startups and MSMEs. The objective of this program is to bridge the gap between research and development and commercialization by providing financial support to startups and MSMEs. For information, critical minerals refer to those minerals whose supply disruption can have a significant impact on the country's economy. These minerals are used in high-tech products and green technologies, ranging from wind turbines and power networks to electric vehicles. Minerals such as graphite, lithium, nickel, niobium, gallium, cobalt, and cadmium are included in this list. Recently, India has planned a mega hydropower project on the Brahmaputra River. The estimated hydroelectric production capacity of this project will be 11,000 megawatts, which will play a significant role in meeting India's energy needs. Notably, a budget of Rs 1.5 lakh crore has been allocated to complete this hydropower project. This project has been proposed in response to China's construction of a large dam on the Brahmaputra River in Tibet. It is worth mentioning that China's construction on the Brahmaputra may disrupt the water flow, which could lead to a severe water crisis for India and Bangladesh. Therefore, the plan to build this dam on the Siang River is crucial for India, not only in terms of energy self-sufficiency but also from a strategic security perspective. This project will help in controlling water flow as well as mitigating the impacts of floods and climate change. It is noteworthy that the Brahmaputra River flows as Yarlung Tsangpo in Tibet and is called the Siang River when it enters India. In India, this river enters through Arunachal Pradesh. When it reaches the plains of Assam, it is known as the Brahmaputra. Recently, UNESCO has included Udaipur and Indore in the list of wetland cities of the world. This recognition is given to cities that prioritize the conservation and management of their natural and human-made wetlands. With the addition of these new cities, the number of wetland cities in the world has reached 31. Notably, Indore and Udaipur are the first cities in India to be included in this list. This status is granted to cities located near wetlands, encouraging them to strengthen their connection with these ecosystems. It is worth mentioning that wetlands are areas where the soil remains covered with water throughout the year or during certain periods. These wetlands can become a source of livelihood for local residents. They help ensure food security and aid in disaster prevention. Wetlands also help in reducing flood incidents and protecting coastal areas. Additionally, they absorb pollutants and improve water quality. For information, the Convention on Wetlands of International Importance is known as the Ramsar Convention. It is an international treaty aimed at promoting the conservation and sustainable use of wetlands. This treaty was signed in 1971 in Ramsar, Iran. Currently, India has 85 Ramsar sites. Recently, the Africa Energy Summit was held in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. This two-day summit was organized under the banner of Mission 300. Notably, Mission 300 is an initiative operated by the World Bank Group and the African Development Bank. In this summit, 12 African countries unveiled their national energy agreements. Additionally, targeted strategies were presented to address the lack of energy access and promote clean energy solutions. The objective is to ensure universal access to energy for all. The 12 countries participating in this summit are Chad, Ivory Coast, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Liberia, Madagascar, Malawi, Mauritania, Niger, Nigeria, Senegal, Zambia, and Tanzania. According to the International Energy Agency, in Nigeria and other sub-Saharan African countries, 80% of the population lacks access to electricity. It is worth mentioning that the International Energy Agency is an autonomous intergovernmental organization. It was established in 1974 following the oil crisis. Its main objectives are to ensure energy security, promote energy efficiency, and encourage innovation. Its headquarters is located in Paris, France, and it operates under the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. Currently, it has 32 member countries. One of its key publications, The World Energy Outlook, provides comprehensive insights into energy trends and future policies. On 23rd January 2025, the 5th Khelo India Winter Games commenced in Leh, Ladakh. On this occasion, Prime Minister Narendra Modi extended his best wishes. Notably, these games will be organized in two phases. The first phase will be held in Ladakh from 23rd to 27th January, while the second phase will take place in Jammu and Kashmir from 22nd to 25th February. The objective of this event is to promote sports culture in the country and attract tourism. It is noteworthy that a total of 594 participants, including 428 athletes, are taking part in the Ladakh phase of the Games. A total of 19 teams, including state and union territory teams, as well as institutional teams like the Army and ITBP, are participating in the event. On the first day of the Games, ice hockey matches were organized at the NDS Stadium and the Ladakh Scouts Regimental Center. It is worth mentioning that the Khelo India Winter Games were launched in 2020 with the objective of identifying young talents and preparing them for international level competition. Under this initiative, sports infrastructure is being developed across the country, with the establishment of the Khelo India Center and the State Center of Excellence in Ladakh being prominent. According to the latest report by the United Nations Children's Fund (UNICEF) in 2024, the education of 1 in every 7 students was disrupted due to the climate crisis. Notably, on 24th January 2025, UNICEF released the report Learning Interrupted Global Snapshot of Climate-Related School Disruption in 2024 on International Education Day. This study highlights that climate hazards such as floods, storms, and droughts temporarily or permanently shut down millions of children's schools, severely impacting their education. According to UNICEF, more than 400 million children faced high-risk conditions due to climate change. In 2024, disasters such as floods and storms damaged the schools of 22 million children. Emphasis has been placed on the need for green schools and climate-resilient infrastructure to protect education from this crisis. It is worth noting that UNICEF was established on 11th December 1946 by the United Nations General Assembly with the aim of ensuring children's welfare and development. Its headquarters is located in New York, USA. UNICEF operates in more than 190 countries to protect children's education, health, nutrition, and rights. UNICEF primarily relies on voluntary contributions, and its budget in 2024 was approximately $8 billion. This organization plays a crucial role in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, particularly those related to quality education and climate action. Recently, Georgia has been awarded the malaria-free certification by the World Health Organization. This achievement is the result of Georgia's decades of hard work and effective health policies. Notably, Georgia had controlled malaria in the 1960s, but some cases resurfaced in the 1990s. Now, after long-term efforts, the country has completely eliminated it. It is worth mentioning that to receive the malaria-free certification, A country must remain free from locally transmitted malaria cases for 3 consecutive years and ensure strong measures for malaria prevention and surveillance. Georgia has become the 42nd country to meet this standard. It is noteworthy that malaria is a deadly infectious disease caused by the Plasmodium parasite. This parasite spreads through the bite of female Anopheles mosquitoes. The symptoms of malaria include high fever, chills, headache, and muscle pain. Talking about the World Health Organization, it is an international health organization established on 7th April 1948. Its headquarters is located in Geneva, Switzerland. The purpose of WHO is to promote global health, prevent diseases, and improve healthcare services. That's all for now in this bulletin. After the news, let's take a quick look at 5 questions related to the bulletin. Consider the following statements regarding the rocket NVS-02 satellite. It is the first among India's new generation of navigation satellites. It is a part of navigation with Indian constellation system. It uses a rubidium atomic clock to determine precise time. How many of the above statements are correct? Only 1, only 2, all 3, none of these. Next, consider the following statements regarding Guillain-Barré syndrome. It is a rare autoimmune neurological disorder. Its infection is caused by a virus or bacteria in the body. It affects the central nervous system. How many of the above statements are incorrect? Only 1, only 2, all 3, none of these. Next, consider the following statements regarding the National Critical Mineral Mission. Its objective is to make India self-reliant in the critical mineral sector. This mission focuses only on the mineral lithium. Rupees 1,800 crore has been allocated for this mission. How many of the above statements are correct? Only 1, only 2, all 3, none of these. Next, consider the following statements regarding the Ramsar Convention. It is an international treaty. It was signed in 1971 in Ramsar city, Iran. India currently has 85 Ramsar sites. How many of the above statements are incorrect? Only 1, only 2, all 3, none of these. Next, consider the following statements regarding the International Energy Agency. It is an autonomous intergovernmental organization. It was established in 1974 following the oil crisis. It functions under the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. How many of the above statements are correct? Only 1, only 2, all 3, none of these. Jasprit Bumrah has been named ICC Men's Test Cricketer of the Year for 2024. In 2024, he took 71 wickets in test matches at an average of 14.92, the highest by any bowler that year. Notably, in 2024, Bumrah became the 4th Indian bowler to take more than 70 test wickets in a single year. Before him, Ravichandran Ashwin, Anil Kumble and Kapil Dev had achieved this feat. During this period, he also completed 200 wickets in Test cricket. Bumrah took 8 wickets in Cape Town, South Africa, leading India to victory, and claimed 32 wickets in the Border Gavaskar Trophy in Australia, winning the Player of the Series award. On 26th January, the 76th Republic Day was celebrated. Notably, Uttar Pradesh Tableau won the Best Tableau Award at the Republic Day Parade. This tableau was based on the theme Mahakumbh 2025, Swarnim Bharat, Virasat aur Vikas, showcasing the grandeur and tradition of the Mahakumbh Mela. Among the marching contingents, the Jammu and Kashmir Rifles was declared the best marching contingent in the Armed Forces category, while the Delhi Police marching contingent secured the first position in the CAPF and other auxiliary forces category. Additionally, the Ministry of Tribal Affairs tableau, based on the Tribal Pride Year theme, was selected as the best tableau among central ministries. Recently, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh unveiled Sanjay, the Indian Army's new battlefield surveillance system. This automated system integrates information from ground and aerial sensors to provide a comprehensive battlefield picture. Developed indigenously by the Indian Army and Bharat Electronics Limited, this system is a significant step towards Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-reliant India. Sanjay will be developed in 3 phases across all operational brigades, divisions and corps between March and October 2025. With Sanjay, commanders will be able to conduct better operations in network-centric environments for both conventional and sub-conventional missions. Recently, the Prime Minister paid tribute to Mahatma Gandhi on his 77th death anniversary. His death anniversary is observed every year on 30th January, a day that honors those who sacrificed their lives for the nation. Mahatma Gandhi is revered as the father of the nation and is regarded as the architect of India's independence movement. On 30th January 1948, he was assassinated by Nathuram Godse. This day is observed in India as Martyrs' Day. More than 2.2 billion people worldwide suffer from vision impairment, with hereditary retinal diseases being one of the causes. Hereditary retinal diseases, also known as retinal dystrophies, are the most genetically diverse group of disorders affecting humans. These disorders result from abnormal development or degeneration of photoreceptors or the retinal pigment epithelium. Mutations in over 100 genes responsible for retinal function cause these conditions. They can be inherited in various patterns, including autosomal recessive, autosomal dominant, X-linked, and less commonly mitochondrial and digenic inheritance. Recently, discussions on artificial intelligence have intensified. China has achieved a major milestone in AI technology by developing 2 new AI models, DeepSeek V3 and DeepSeek R1. These models have emerged as strong contenders in the global AI landscape and are now capable of performing at par with leading AI systems like ChatGPT. DeepSeek is a free AI-powered chatbot developed by a company founded by Chinese entrepreneur Liang Wenfeng. This model has been created at a fraction of the cost of industry-leading AI models like OpenAI's. Recently, researchers from North America and Kenya completed a genetic survey of cyanobacteria in Winam Gulf, Lake Victoria. Cyanobacteria, also known as blue-green algae, can form dense and sometimes toxic blooms in freshwater and marine environments. These blooms disrupt ecosystems, degrade water quality, and pose serious threats to humans, animals, and aquatic life. Lake Victoria is the largest tropical lake in the world and the second largest freshwater lake after North America's Lake Superior. It spans the borders of Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya in East Africa. Recently, the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy issued the Solar System, Devices and Component Goods Order 2025. This order aims to regulate the quality of solar PV modules and inverters. Notably, this order has been issued under the Bureau of Indian Standards Act 2016. The BIS Act provides for the establishment of a national standards body to ensure the harmonized development of standardization and quality assurance. This new order replaces and revises the existing solar photovoltaics systems, devices, and component goods orders 2017.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.